Hey, what's up guys, Bajheera here. Really exciting news for you that our Bajheera Games and Gains shirts are back on sale, this time with hoodies as well. Keep in mind that you also have women's sizing for the ladies out there. But I want to let you guys know that these shirts are back on sale because you did a tremendous job supporting the first campaign, and I definitely wanted them to be available for those of you who wanted to get some more of them, or may have missed out on the first campaign. Either way, I'll be sure to include the links in the description as well as the annotations so you guys can head over there and check them out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching. Peace! Hey, what's up guys, Bajheera here. Got some deadlifts for you. I haven't shown you guys a deadlift workout in a while. But ideally, how I structure my leg days is that I do legs, every 3 or 4 days. And I'll alternate between having my main exercise for the leg day be squats or deadlifts. So it ends up being kind of a quad-focused leg day on squat day, and then a hamstring-focused day on deadlift day. And a lot of people like to do deadlifts as part of their back day, and I understand that. Deadlifts definitely heavily engage your back. However, for me, if I try to train deadlifts on back day, I end up just having like absolutely no grip for any back exercises for the whole rest of the day, and my back is just sort of completely exhausted by the deadlifts. And so I'd much rather, factor them into my leg training. I feel like doing them that way helps me out, because I'm not just doing squats every single leg day, which can get a little intense on your knees. And then with deadlifts, I don't necessarily want to deadlift, twice a week either, because that can get pretty intense on my lower back. So doing deadlifts and squats, it ends up being like once a week. I do train legs twice a week, but the squats are once a week and the deadlifts are once a week, and that's pretty good for me. I do like deadlifts. I definitely, especially during the dieting phase, need to be mindful of keeping the weight controlled, and go ahead and making sure I get really, really warmed up. Because for me, I feel like it's so easy for me to just make one wrong move and twinge my back a little bit. It does nothing like serious, but then you're sore for a couple days, and that affects your training otherwise, and it's just uncomfortable. So for me, especially on this workout, I went into it with the mindset of staying extremely disciplined in terms of the weight that I was moving. And rather than trying to worry about moving a lot of weight, I was more focused on really getting into the groove. And this is something that I've talked about on a lot of my other gym videos. And this is something that sticks with me even when I'm able to eat more. But when I'm able to eat more, man, you just feel like an absolute monster. And you can just tear up any weight in the gym. But it's still a good idea to try to get real warmed up and use good form, even when you're lifting heavy deadlifts, in a caloric surplus and all that. But for me, especially on this workout, I was trying to stay really disciplined with the weight, trying to keep it really controlled, and especially early on, I was trying to get that nice full stop at the bottom and then lifting it off the floor instead of doing a little bit more touch and go later on. And I still went into the touch and go later on just because I actually feel like that's better for my legs. I feel like this full stop is engaging my upper back more, which is still something to keep in mind. If you want those deadlifts to engage your upper back, and you do, I mean, upper back development is still a big goal for me. So incorporating deadlifts like this, especially when it's a little bit lighter, a little bit more manageable, and letting it sink into my upper back, it's a good idea. But when these deadlifts start to get a little bit heavier, I start to allow my body to put most of the work on my legs. And that's one of the things I try to do for most of this. I mean, legs, I'm training deadlifts on leg day for a reason, as I feel like these are a really solid leg exercise for me. Whenever I'm doing these deadlifts, I'm sort of imagining me performing them like a squat. Obviously, there's a lot of upper body movement, compared to a squat. You're going from, kind of a bent over position to a standing up straight position. Obviously, you're not doing that as much with a squat, at least not in the same way. So there definitely is more to it than just a squat. But in terms of the power off the floor and driving with my legs and driving my hips forward, there's definitely that for me when deadlifting. I'm trying to keep that in mind. But it's a different sort of upper back tightness they have with a squat. For me, that's one of the main things that's been helping me recently on my squat. It's kind of one of those things I've been keeping in mind, is my upper back tightness when I'm squatting. And then of course, it is a little bit different with deadlifts, but it's a similar sort of idea. So keeping in mind like a squat when I'm deadlifting is kind of helpful to me, and it's also like my my hip flexor tightness. And when I'm saying tightness, I don't mean the sort of tightness that can contribute to injury, like a strain or something. It's more of like keeping it flexed, being very mindful of its role in this movement. So when I've got my hip flexors ready to rock, you know, being able to bear the weight in a good way. I've got my upper back, you know, nice and strong, being able to hold on to this weight, and I've got my hamstrings ready to come online and drive my hips forward. So that's what I'm thinking about with my deadlift, trying to keep it real controlled, real contained in a good way. So for me, you can tell that I like to do my deadlifts mostly traditional. Some people like to do sumo deadlifts. I still feel like this is pretty good for me, although I probably ought to spend a little bit more time practicing sumo deadlifts. They might be a little bit easier on your back. There's not as much like going from like a bent over position to an upright position. It doesn't seem like. I mean, there's still a little bit of it, but it seems like it might put more of the weight on your upper back and then allowing your legs to push forward. So I mean, it's very similar, but it might be a little bit safer on your back. I'm not sure, but I'm still feeling, especially in this deadlift workout, I was feeling like I really was hitting my form well, and everything felt really good. And I was doing quite a few reps here. I was doing just about everything for 12, even as we got up to higher weight. Although I did stop the weight today. I think I reined myself in either 275. I think it was 275, but I was doing sets of 12 with 275 and real solid sets too. So I felt really good about that. I was having fun. It seems like the deadlift workouts and squat workouts, even if you're not feeling your absolute best when you go into the gym, they sort of like bring out the best in you. They demand your best. And so I was feeling good today. And I'm glad to have deadlifts be incorporated as part of my leg routine. I already sort of went over why I include them as part of that, but even though I'm definitely tired out from doing deadlifts, I feel like I can grind out some of the accessory movements. Just like I did a little bit of leg press, a little bit of front squats, definitely my quad extensions, my hamstring curls, and that all felt pretty good. But as you can see here, once I get up to like, what is it, 275, I am doing it just a little bit more touch and go. Just because these are definitely, at this point, more than anything, for my legs. And starting right from the base, starting right from the ground is not quite as important for me as making sure I'm getting the squeeze that I'm looking for in my hamstrings and my glutes. Even just a little bit of my quads, especially right at the very top at the lockout. I'm not trying to lock my knees out, but I am trying to, you know, make sure that my quads get involved in this. So it's definitely more of a touch and go motion. And so, you know, you guys can fuss about that if you want to, but I was hammering them and I was feeling good about it. So everything stand real solid in terms of my upper body. You can see, you know, I've got my chest sticking out. I've got my upper back real nice and tight in a good way, and I'm trying to keep the bar as close to my body the whole time as I can, which is one of the reasons why I wear pants when I do deadlifts, is because, you know, I am not on purpose like scraping the bar against my shins, but you do want to keep that bar really close to your body just so that, you know, you're not putting a strain on your lower back, is what it feels like to me. And as a result of that, you might scrape up your shins a little bit. So, you know, that's why I'm wearing pants on these workouts. So I was really happy with my deadlifts for that day. Those felt really good, and I'm definitely going to keep trying to keep those as part of my leg routine. It's sort of alternating leg day. So just as I do mainly squats, and then I'll do like straight-legged deadlifts as secondary exercises on my squat-focused leg day. On my deadlift-focused leg day, I'm doing Big Daddy deadlifts, and then I'm doing little baby front squats. So I never really used that much weight on my front squats, but I definitely wanted to include these as part of the workout, just so that I get some quad involvement. And I don't know if you guys have done this before, but if you've never trained squats, like big squats and then deadlifts on the same day, or you've never done deadlifts and then squats again on the same day, you should give it a try. It's a really interesting experience, and you'll sort of get a chance to learn about what muscles are really involved in these movements. I think that's kind of the idea behind like pre-exhaustion. I don't really usually pre-exhaust on like, you know, and what I mean by that is going and doing like the accessory movements is what I call them, like the hamstring curl and the quad extension. I don't usually do those first to sort of get my muscles tired and then go do the compound movements, because I really want to have my best energy for the compound movements, because I really dig into these. I'm not just doing them for the weight. So that is one reason, though. If you're trying to do them for weight, obviously you're not going to try to wear yourself out first. But I think I kind of do wear myself out anyway by doing so much warm-up sets. Anyway, I want to be able to have my best energy for my big compound movements, and then when I'm tired, and I can just sort of grind out the auxiliary stuff like this. But yeah, doing squats and deadlifts on the same day, that's definitely an experience. And I don't always do it. I used to, Now I'm sort of specializing so I can get a better workout out of one or the other. But yeah, it's definitely an experience to have that sort of exhaustion in your muscles and still try to work. It teaches you what sort of muscles are really getting involved in those movements. Plus, it's just sort of fun for the heart and the guts aspect of it all. Just make sure you don't hurt yourself, though. Make sure you have your alpha aminos that day. You're gonna need them. But that's gonna bring us to the end of this workout, guys. This is a really fun one. I'm proud of this workout. I'm glad to be able to share it with you guys. Really hope you enjoyed it. If you do, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, leave me a comment, and definitely subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace!